All right, so if you made it this far in the boot camp, we've talked about the order flow basics, we've talked about auction market theory, we've talked about key levels, we've talked about how to create a pre-market plan using those key levels. Before I start showing you guys the setups you're going to use at these key levels or based off these key levels during these trading sessions, I'm going to give you guys a few pieces of advice that you are going to need. And if you're not going to take it from me, it's going to be something you got to learn the hard way, unfortunately, which, to be completely honest with you guys, in your trading journey, you guys might have heard this saying before, but I can tell you, hey, the stove's hot, don't touch it. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that still have to go touch the stove themselves to learn that it's hot the hard way, right? This is how the cookie crumbles. And to be honest with you guys, that's how I am as well. So, like, there's plenty of advice out there that's fantastic advice that's going to help you. But a lot of the times you hear it, it kind of just goes in one ear and out the other, or maybe not necessarily that, but you hear it and you know, okay, this thing's bad, but in the moment you still end up making the same mistake and then looking back on it and being like, I shouldn't have done that. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how you can expedite your trading journey a lot faster than me and faster than other people who don't do the things or don't take into account what I'm about to tell you guys. So this video is quite literally going to be me trying to help save you from making mistakes that are going to cost you money and cost you time. Like I said, if you don't take it from me, these are going to be things you got to learn the hard way anyway yourself. So here's a few important pieces of advice that I would say relate specifically to the way I am trading and the way this whole boot camp is organized around, which is scalping using order flow, auction market theory, and supply and demand. Okay. So the main person who I've learned from over the last year and a half is Carmine Rosado. I want to make sure everybody knows that 60 to 70% of all of my order flow trading knowledge is completely from him, and I want to make sure he gets credit. I'm never going to be the type of person who's trying to do something or who's trying to like trade the same way or whatever and then say that these are concepts that I learned myself or that I came up with. So 60 to 70% of my trading knowledge in general comes from him. You guys should all know that. And it's pretty obvious to tell that as well. But one of the biggest things he talks about, and one of the most important pieces I would give to any of you guys, is that every single trade, or I guess I should say, all of the very best trades, they have three things in common. They're aligned with the context of the market. They have a location, a specific level of interest, and they have confirmation, which we are using the order flow to get confirmation. Okay. If you would just simply stick to taking trades that have context, location, and confirmation, do not underestimate the power of that. That is like, if I took all of my winning trades and threw them into a bucket, they would like 80% to 90% of them would have all three of those things. Okay. And the point I'm getting to is that you are going to see setups that appear throughout the day. And sometimes they're not going to align with the context of the market. Sometimes they're not going to have an actual level of interest other than what is happening at that price you are currently seeing this form at. And just take it from me, those are setups you most likely want to avoid. You might see something, there might be something there. There might be a little bit of absorption, there might be some exhaustion, there might be something there that tells you, hey, this is a setup right here, right? And that's fine. But the thing is, we're not trying to take every single setup that we see, or you shouldn't try to take every single setup that you see. I think this applies especially to order flow trading because you're going to see things that show up intraday, and you're going to see things that are actually interesting to you form during the session. And I'm not saying all of these have to be just like losing trades. I'm not saying that, but if you're taking trades outside of context or they go against the market context, understand you're probably going to want to take profits a lot sooner on that trade, for example. Or if it's not at a specific level of interest, understand there's probably going to be less participants trading off of that area where you need people to actually place trades for you to go into profit. So what I'm saying is you want to stick to the highest quality trades you can. Ignore all the trades that go against the context, that don't have a location of interest. Of course, the trades that don't even have confirmation, a lot of the times you're going to see something, and especially if your brain is like, oh, I want to make money today, or you got an account balance you're worried about, maybe you took a few losses, you want to make money back. your brain's gonna want to get profits any way it can. So it's basically what can happen is you're gonna trick yourself into taking trades that are actually low quality trades. And once again, I'm not saying that these can never work out, but I'm saying that most of the time, at least in my experience, they're gonna be short lived, and you're not gonna get a full profit or a full target like you're used to on a high quality trade. And then you might get stopped out for break even, or you might get stopped out for a loss, and then you're basically just taking low quality setups. Okay, that is a huge piece of advice that I can give that I definitely had to learn the hard way, especially early on when you're focused on making money every day. You want to come into the market and you want to show that you can trade, or you want to make money. That's really what it comes down to. Your brain's going to basically anything that sparks even a little bit of interest on the order flow, or as the session develops, your brain's going to kind of trick yourself into thinking it's a good trade to take. But stay away from the low quality trades and stick to strictly the high quality trades, and you will thank me later. That is definitely one of the things that I had to kind of learn the hard way myself. Everyone says, hey, stick to high quality trades. You've heard it before. You want to filter out the bad setups and only take the good setups. The bad setups are still setups that are going to appear. Like you're still going to see something that makes you want to take a trade, but you got to think to yourself, is this aligned with the context? Is this at a location of interest? Is there real confirmation in this trade for me to take it? If you got all three of those things, your win rate's going to be a lot higher than someone who is taking every single possible setup that forms on the market. Since we just got past the key levels and pre-market plans video, and you guys kind of have the gist of how we're going to approach the market, before I get into actually showing you real setups, I wanted to make sure that I get this one drilled in your head, because once again, like, do not underestimate the power of just sticking to high quality and avoiding the low quality. Okay, kind of going off of that, that's why journaling is so important, and tracking your data is absolutely crucial in this game. Because if you're just taking trades and losing and then not learning from them, or taking trades and winning and not learning from them, you're not going to know what works and what doesn't work, and it's not going to be cemented in your head what you should and shouldn't do. Okay, if you guys need a journal, go to TradeZella. You can use the link in my description right here. Get a TradeZella account. I promise you, it is 100% worth it. I would not know the degree of the errors that I make anywhere near how I understand them now without journaling with TradeZella. Journaling is literally like the most important thing you can do, especially when you're taking more trades like scalping. Journaling is absolutely 100% required, if you ask me. Like, I would genuinely tell you, if you are not journaling your trades, literally just give up, bro. Like, if you don't plan on journaling your trades, I would say you got a very low chance of making it, if at all, to be completely honest with you. You have to track your data. You have to organize your trades. You have to know what you do right, you have to know what you do wrong, and you got to learn from the market every single day. So while we're on the journaling topic, a lot of people think that they only have to look at their losing trades and learn from their losing trades. Don't spend too much time on your losing trades. Understand the mistake you made. Let it register in your mind, absolutely. But to be completely honest with you guys, I think that you should be spending more time on your winning trades and studying what you did right, and get that cemented into your head as well. Because we don't want to just focus on the losing trades over and over and never look at the winning trades. That's just a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. We want to learn from the losers, say, okay, here's what I did wrong. Okay, my trade was invalidated. I stopped out. I shouldn't have re-entered. XYZ, whatever mistake you made, learn from it and move on. If you take a winning trade, review it the same exact way you took the losing trade, except maybe even look at it even longer. And as you trade every day and as you gather data, you are going to see all of your winners share a lot of things in common with each other, and that all your losses share a lot of things in common with each other. But whenever you know exactly when you win, or whenever you know exactly puts you at a higher probability of winning, that's going to allow you to stick to only taking better trades and filtering out those bad trades, like I was talking about earlier. And that's a huge tip that I don't think is given enough. Like, most people just tell you to study your losing trades, but what really opened my eyes was whenever I took all of my winners and I analyzed all my winners, and I realized, oh, all my winners share the same things pretty much. Like most of them align with the higher time frame context. Most of them were based off a level of interest, and all of them had actually good confirmation to take the trade. All of my bad trades, some of them might have been just completely against the higher time frame context. Some of them literally might have not been at a location of interest at all. And some of them might not even have had proper confirmation. I just thought, oh, I should take a trade here because of who knows why. And then I ended up taking a trade that I look back on and I'm like, why the fuck did I take that? So spend time on your losers and spend more time on your winners. And I promise you, you're going to wake up to some things whenever you see your data and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to stop doing this and I'm going to keep doing more of this. Or maybe I stop doing this. And maybe even potentially I'm going to size up if I see this a little bit. So that's another very important tip to leave you guys with before we actually start getting into specific setups. And another thing that I've already mentioned before is that a lot of your mistakes are going to be due to psychological factors. You can give somebody a strategy, but if they're not executing strictly that strategy, you're not going to get this. Everyone's going to get different results, right? We all have different psychological barriers. I have different ones than you. You have different ones than me, different ones than the guy next to you. Everybody's different. We all have different childhoods, and all these things in our subconscious mind and our belief systems affect our decision making on a day-to-day basis. So going back to journaling once again, some of you guys might struggle with holding trades into your targets. Some of you guys might struggle with putting on trades with no confirmation. Some of you guys might struggle with over trading, revenge trading, etc. After you know how to trade, or after you know how you're supposed to trade, psychology is like 60 to 70% of the battle after that. And just because you know what you're supposed to do doesn't mean you're going to do it. Whenever you see all these losing trades that you documented in your journal and you're seeing your mindset or your thought process behind the trades, you are going to be able to identify your worst behaviors. And the quicker you can eliminate these bad behaviors, the quicker you can take money out of the market consistently. And that's just one thing that's going to be a never ending battle. It's really just like you got to eliminate them as much as you can consistently forever. And then eventually, kind of like the longer part of the battle, like that's the main battle for everyone, is overcoming their behavioral errors. That's like really how you become profitable, if you ask me. So sticking to high quality setups only, journaling your trades and learning from your losers, but learning more from your winners, and identifying your behavioral errors and eliminating them. Those are like the biggest tips I can give you guys, other than showing you how to use a strategy. Like, by far, if you did all those things, you are going to have no problem being consistently profitable. So in this next batch of videos, I'm going to show you guys specific setups and specific examples for each of these setups. And I'm going to show you how I came up with a plan to actually take those trades. I'm going to show you guys what setups you can actually look for on a day-to-day basis. We're going to go over absorption continuation, absorption reversals, low volume node continuation, zero prints, high day fails, low day fails, which is kind of like mean reversion. And we're going to go over all those things in these future videos, but those three things that I just told you guys about in this video are by far the most important tips I can give you guys, other than showing you how to trade, if I'm being completely honest. And like I said, a lot of you guys are going to have to learn the hard way, and you're going to have to touch the stove that I told you was hot, but it is what it is. You'll learn yourself, and that's fine too. But yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe, like the video. Order flow Discord is in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.